There was a major travel impasse yesterday caused by heavy floods that blocked transportation in and out of the city, and also plus many different major parts of the country. But Nairobi is on the spotlight. Sadly, reports coming through is that at least 10 people have been confirmed dead. That's in Nairobi following the devastating floods that struck the city on Friday. This was also confirmed by Nairobi Police Commander George Seda, who said 8 of the victims were swept away by fast rising flood waters, with some dying while inside vehicles that were carried away by the raging floods. And this is really sad. Major parts of the highways and urban roads were heavily disrupted, with some rendered impassable through the night. But a report from the Red Cross Society said that traffic snarled stretched into the early hours of Saturday morning as motorists struggled to navigate flooded sections. Also, yesterday was for the very first time public service vehicles were actually allowed to use the expressway, which is usually a toll freeway or a toll road where you have to pay, at least part with some amount of money at the ETC, then you're allowed to use it to your destination. Usually it was destined from the airport to Westlands and plus many other parts of Nairobi. But for yesterday, it was opened, I believe, from 9 p.m. until 11. But of course, what caught my attention is the memes that are circulating around. Others are calling it the Singapore. That is the word C, and then Singapore, since it's the president's vision and dream for Nairobi. Others are calling it Singapore, meaning for the better part of yesterday and even the week, a lot of people have been sinking in invisible roads that have been fully occupied by heavy floods and rainwater that continues to ravage various parts of the country. The Kenya Red Cross Society said its first responders rescued at least 20 people who had been stranded along Kirinyaga Road after flood waters overwhelmed parts of the area. It said as well the victims were safely evacuated. Teams continue to monitor the situation and support to the affected victims. Now, part of the flooding was also reported in South B, South C, Nairobi West and Lang'ata, as well as Umoja 3, Chokaa, Jiru, Ruai, Utawala, and in the northern and western parts of the city, including Roysambu along Kamiti Road, Kahawa West, Githurai, Loresho, and sections of Westlands as well. Some of the major highways and urban roads were heavily disrupted as well. But also the routes including Museum Hill, Uhuru Park, and Uhuru Highway, including Mbagathi Way, were majorly affected. According to the county police force, at least 71 vehicles were trapped or stranded across the city after major roads became impassable due to the heavy flooding. What actually caught my attention are the memes and the photos. Of course, there's this one. Of course, it's the governor's tagline, I believe, or motto: Nairobi must work, lazima work. So others are saying lazima iflood. So all the attention is now on the national government, including the county government of Nairobi, to ensure that we have functional drainage systems, because when you do with the situation happening right now, it's easier for a lot of waterborne diseases, including water pollution, including the drain. Just imagine the sewerage system is in Kibra and also in your area, and then mix that with the drainage system in Nairobi CBD, and then where you come from, and imagine the kind of water. If you're the person who drinks water directly from your tap, this is not the right time to do it. So who should we blame? Are we blaming Sakaja? Who are we blaming? Please let me know. Should we blame Sakaja or the government or Ruto or who? I mean, what? Tell me. Who are we blaming? Who are we directing this anger to? The rains? Because we just came from a season of, super heated temperatures. And of course, it's going to go from like rain and then to super dry, and you guys will still be complaining. But these are just the adverse effects of climate action and climate crisis. So it's an individual collective responsibility for us to just take care. But in the meantime, what we can do is just manage the situation as we wait for the rain to subside, because after this, it's going to be extreme drought, and that will be another crisis again. So let's find balance and just manage. Let's manage the situation in the best way that we can.